Offering us love. What else? There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. What does fear have? Torment. Remember what was Satan offering us? Fear. It has torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. I want to point out something to you. I found this out a while back. Perfect love. Who has perfect love? Do we have perfect love?
Not yet.
No, we don't have perfect love. This is talking about God's perfect love. God's perfect love. When you know God's perfect love, it casts out all fear. You know, isn't that awesome? When you know that He loves you, and no matter what happens, He's taking care of you, He's helping you, He's lifting you up, you have nothing to be afraid of. That's perfect love. And it casts out fear. It casts out Satan, doesn't it? That's where we're going to win people to Christ, is when we show Christ's love. And I'm fixing to do that in a second. Another thing, free choice. I know we're over. Free choice. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua gave, by God's inspiration, he gave the people a choice. You want to serve all those pagan gods? It'll have you piercing yourself. It'll have you tattooing yourself. It'll have you cutting yourself. You want to serve them? Fine. But we're going to serve God, who gives us hope, love, joy, all the fruits of the Spirit that Gracie was talking about. Right? What about compassion? This is awesome. Are you ready for this? Look at here. All the times Jesus was moved with compassion. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as a sheep having no shepherd. Remember, Christ is God. He represents God for us in flesh. So we can understand what God is like. And what does he show? Compassion. Look at this. And Jesus went forth, and he saw the great multitude, and was moved with compassion towards them. And what did he do? He healed their sick. So his compassion moves him to action, to heal. Look at this one. Then Jesus called his disciples unto him, and he said, I have compassion on the multitudes, because they continue with me now 3 days, and have nothing to eat. And I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. So what's he end up doing? He had compassion because they'd been with him 3 days, and he didn't want to send them off without eating, right? But he didn't have any food, so what happened? That's when he multiplied the fish and the loaves. And he ended up feeding all those people with what? Five loaves and 2 fishes, something like that? I'm going from memory. Not too good anymore. But, so, we see here that compassion, now he's feeding people. So, is compassion better than fear? Than death and suffering? Listen to this. So Jesus had compassion on them, and he touched their eyes, and immediately their eyes received sight, and they followed him. Again, these blind guys come up, and Jesus was moved with compassion. He didn't do this stuff just to show off. He did this because he had compassion on his fellow man. That's what God offers, compassion. And Jesus moved with compassion, put forth his hand and touched him, and saith unto him, I will, be thou clean. The lepers came to him, and he cleansed lepers of their leprosy. Compassion again. And Jesus went, and he came out, and he saw much people, and was moved with compassion towards them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. Look there. Now compassion has led him to teach. Isn't that awesome? He's not going to leave the people ignorant. He's going to teach them the truth. Right? Look at this one. Now when he came nigh to the gates of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And much people of the city was with her. And when the Lord saw her, what did he do? He had compassion on her. And he said unto her, Weep not. And he came and touched the bier. That's the thing that carried the dead person, right? The bier. I always say it wrong. And they that bare him stood still. And he said, Young man, I say unto thee, arise. And he that was dead sat up and began to speak, and he delivered him to his mother. So his compassion moved him. Why do you think he was compassionate in this situation? I mean, a lot of people died. She was a widow. In that day and time, she didn't have anybody to take care of her. This is her only son. He's it. Her whole livelihood is out with his passing. And so his compassion moved him to raise this boy up, this young man up, so that she could be taken care of by her son. Compassion. God offers compassion. I love that. So, what does Jesus offer? He offers life. What did Satan offer? Satan offered death, suffering, fear. Jesus is offering life. Not just life, but you're right, eternal life. Good point. Listen to this. John 10:10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. Who's he talking about? He's talking about Satan, right? He's telling us right here, Satan offers you death and the taking of your things, right? But listen what he says. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Not just life, but abundance of life. Does this make anybody excited, or is it just me? Okay. So, back to what we started out with. There are two choices, aren't there? Listen to this. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, or, it says and, but I want to say or, death and evil. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shalt be drawn away, what? And worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish. Did he say, I'm going to destroy you? Not really, not here. He's saying you'll perish. Without God, we perish. Why? Because God's the source of life. He made us, right? And so life comes from him to us. He's saying, without me, you'll perish. And ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whither thou passeth over the Jordan to go to possess it. So again, we see the two choices, don't we? So the end of my sermon is, don't be tricked.